And we're back again with another video. Swords are one of the primary weapons back in our history. So it is not shocking to know that even after many years have passed, there are still some swords that have been preserved and is being considered as an evidence of the story of some of the most notable people in our history. So from a sword that was speared in a stone up to a golden dagger that was buried, here are the 10 legendary swords in the world. So without further ado, let's start. Number 10. Durandal. Roland is one of the most famous knights in our history. His sword, which is named Durandal, is also one of the famous swords in history, where a lot of legendary stories were based on the life of Roland and his sword, which makes a lot of people aware on who Roland is. His sword, which is Durandal, was pierced in the wall of monastery before he passed away, because he did not want his enemies to get his weapons and use it against them. After studying the sword of Roland, experts found out that it has a missing piece, on which no one knows what happens and whereabouts of the missing piece of his sword. Oops! Before we proceed, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell button for you to be updated in our latest videos. Number 9. Tomoyuki Yamashita's sword. One of the most frightful generals in history of the Philippines is Tomoyuki Yamashita, which is responsible in protecting this country until the Japan government managed to be in the Philippines. But despite of all this, he was killed by hanging in 1946, after the government proved that he was responsible for many killings and injustice for many Filipino people. A lot of weapons were taken from him, and along with this is his sword, which he used in killing people during war. That is why this sword is one of the most infamous swords of all time, which tells the story and suffering of Filipino people during World War. Number 8. Cortana. When we think of sword, the first thing that came in our mind is war or fighting. But did you know that there is a sword that is intended only for occasion or ceremony? This sword is called Cortana, which holds the title of being a sword of mercy. That is why we can see that the head of this sword is cutted, which symbolizes that this sword was never been used in killing. This sword is believed to be 800 to 900 years old, but there are experts who said that this sword is more than 1,000 years old already. Number 7. Joyous. King Charlemagne is known for being the first emperor in the country of Rome. That is why we cannot deny the fact that his belongings are important artifacts in our history, especially in Rome. Just like his sword named Joyous, which is used in ceremony for incoming kings of this country. This tradition lasted for centuries until it was stopped at 13th century. This sword was still preserved and was being displayed in the museum named Louvre. Number 6. Zulfikar Scimitar. One of extraordinary sword that will surely shock you is this sword called Zulfikar Scimitar, which is believed to be owned by Ali, who is friend of Muhammad, which is known for being a prophet in Islam religion. This sword has scissors-like ending, which is believed to be a famous design back then. There are also words that was engraved in these swords, that unlike other swords who are somehow hard to read, the words from this sword are still intact and is readable. The word says, if we translate it in English, no other hero than Ali, which only shows the importance of Ali to Muhammad. Number 5. Seven-branch sword. Based on its look, you will surely know that this sword is somehow hard or impossible to be used in war, because this sword is actually used in ceremonies. This sword has 3 pairs of branches on its side, which was engraved with words. But the sad part is that, as the time goes by, the words become unclear. That is why experts are debating on the message of this sword, and no one is quite sure on what is the real words that was engraved in this sword. Number 4. Swords of Gojian. Did you know that there is a sword that was discovered in China that even though it is 2,000-year-old already, it is still sharper than the sword that we have these days? This sword is called Gojian, which is covered with mystery because this sword was discovered beside of a skeleton who is believed to be the owner of this sword. Experts tried to use this sword and was shocked after this sword managed to cut through woods, which only show how impressive this sword is. Experts cannot say the story behind this sword and where does this sword was used. That is why even though a lot of people wanted to buy this sword, it is still not being offered in market. Number 3. Napoleon Sword. A lot of us are aware of the name Napoleon Bonaparte, on which he is always mentioned when we talk about Earth history, to be one of the greatest general in the world. That is why a lot of people are shocked when his sword which he used in many wars was offered to public, on which this sword is almost 200 years old already. His sword was auctioned and was sold for $6 million, which only shows that there are a lot of collectors who are willing to pay huge amount of money just to possess one of the most important things or artifacts in our history. Number 2. Norimitsu Odachi. Would you believe if I told you that there is an amazing sword that was thought to be used by giants? This sword is called Norimitsu Odachi, which has a massive size of 12 feet long, which only shows how hard it is for normal people to use this kind of sword. And since this sword has a weight of 15 kilograms, the person who will use this sword will surely have a hard time in using this sword in fighting. Japan is known for its knowledge and expertise in making different kind of sword. That is why according to experts, even though we do not know the use of this sword, they are sure that this sword has a purpose back then. That is yet to be found. Number 1. Golden Dagger. Metal detector is a machine used in finding precious metals which can make the person who use it to become wealthy. Just like here in this video, we can see that there are two people who are searching for metals inside the cave until it rang when it was placed on one side of the cave. They start to dig it and they found a golden dagger on which they can sell it in a high price. No one knows the story behind this dagger or even why it was located in this place. But one thing is for sure, that this kind of discovery is both amazing and shocking at the same time. And that's it for today's video. History plays a significant role in our world today. That even though some of the most famous and notable people are already gone, we can still manage to know their story by having their belongings just like here in our list. So for you, which of these swords really shocked you the most? Please comment down below. And one more thing, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell button for you to be updated in our latest videos. And that's it for today's video. Always remember that knowledge is power. Till next time.